let's talk about Anthony Yarde against Lyndon Arthur, as it is this Saturday night, your last show of the year, and a cracking one to go out on. Very, very good main event. You know, I wouldn't quite say 50-50 on paper, but certainly no worse than 60-40, and two very entertaining fights.
It's as good as the fight on Saturday. You know, all British affair. You know they're going to be pulling out all the stops. You know that Anthony Yarde cannot afford to lose this fight. It's a fight he's got to win. It's a must-win fight for him. And you know that Lyndon, who's undefeated, fancies the job. And undefeated fighters are dangerous fighters. They're very dangerous fighters. And I just think that we're going to see something a little bit special with these guys. They'll find a bit more. There's no away fighter. They're both at home. They're in a neutral venue.
And I asked you before Dubois Joyce, so it's only right that I ask you about this fight as well. Who do you think is going to come out on top?
I've got to tell you something. I'm going to sit on the fence on this one. I think there's a case for both of them.
Once bitten, twice shy.
I've been bitten many times over the years.
I predicted Dubois would win as well. I'm just as wrong. So
look, the bookies did. Everybody did. You know, it's a shame really with the eye injury, and now and Joe did what he had to do. It's a shame. You know what would have been a different fight. I don't know, but the fact of the matter is Joe did his job and he did it superbly well.
And a lot of people in the build-up said it will be Dubois early or Joe late. This time around, people were saying it's Yarde by stoppage or Arthur on points. Do you go along with that logic?
Like I said to you, it's the same as the fight from the previous Saturday. It's exactly the same. It's the same scenario. The same arguments are being made. We will see.
What can you tell us about the undercard? Who are you excited to see? We know Willie Hutchinson sadly has the flu, so he won't be fighting for the British this time around. But who is on the undercard that you like and that we should?
Well, we got obviously Dennis McCann's back in action, and I'm really looking to see him. It's a cracking card. I want to see young Dennis back in. He unfortunately had an illness, and he's been out for a few months. But I want to see him back in and set himself up for a big year. For a big year next year. Yeah, it's a good show.
And something else I want to ask you about while we've got this opportunity. We found out yesterday that Tyson Fury has once again, for the second time in his career, been shortlisted for the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award. He came fourth last time, having beaten Vladimir Klitschko out in Dusseldorf, of course. But this time around, biggest fight of the year, he beat Deontay Wilder out of sight in outstanding fashion. Would you expect him to go at least one better, if not three spaces better this time around?
I think he's put a statement out today saying he doesn't want it, and he doesn't want people to vote for it. So
has he? I must have missed that.
Breaking news.
But the way of the world, more people probably will vote for him, having read that. It's kind of how it works.
You look at all the things that have happened. You look at Lewis Hamilton, what he's done is phenomenal. You look at all the sporting achievements; they've been great. For me though. From where he'd been and where he got to in that fight this year, for me, all day long he should win it. It's up to the public, but all day long he should win it. He's an inspiration he's been an inspiration to many people, and what he did in the ring was just amazing. Probably one of the best British performances away from home in the last 30, 40 years.
You see some critics out there still seemingly obsessed with the previous behaviour of Tyson Fury from 2, 3, maybe more years ago. Do you think it's time people moved on and kind of focused on the Tyson Fury of now?
Well, look, that he is what he is now. When we're younger, we say things. I've been the same. I remember a kid. I remember some of the views I had when I was a kid. I certainly don't hold with them now. And some of the things I think we say, how on earth did I think that? I can go back before all of you. When I was a kid, Muhammad Ali. Whites shouldn't go with blacks. It's wrong. The white man's the devil. We should be separate races and all these things. They were some of the things that he said. He went on to become a serious humanitarian, loved by everybody from all races, all backgrounds. So much so that he was voted BBC Sports Personality of the Century in this country. And as I say, everybody loved Muhammad Ali. Everybody. No one's got a bad word for him, probably other than Joe Frazier. But everybody loved him. And the same is now with Tyson. Everybody, everywhere he goes, he gets mobbed, and people take to him. They've seen the trials and tribulations he's come through, the mental problems and so forth. He's overcome all them, and he's overcome adversity outside the ring and adversity inside the ring. So for me, he certainly deserves that award if he wants it. And all those people, if they still bring that stuff up, then they need to go and sort themselves out, because we're in a world where you're supposed to keep moving forward and you're supposed to evolve with your thoughts and evolve, and you grow up. You're not a young kid or you mentally you grow, and he's grown very much mentally over the last 4 or 5 years, without a doubt.
Is it that context which really sets him apart from the field? It's not just that it's the biggest sporting achievement of the calendar year, but just how far he's come from where he was at the lowest.
I think the sports in it, you've got to take one thing out of it. It's the whole package. The sporting thing is what it is. It's sport. They're in the ring. As far as boxing, in the ring, he's done fantastically. Unbelievable performance. Again, winning as an underdog. Everybody made him an underdog, and he absolutely took Deontay Wilder at the score and stopped him. Unbelievable performance. Outside the ring, he's done even more, as I've mentioned earlier. All what he's come through, from the weight level, from the mental despair he came, he was in, from being suicidal and so forth. He's done fabulously well, and he's a credit to himself and to his family what he's done. And at the end of the day, I don't think he really, and I mean this with the greatest respect for him, and I think as long as he's happy, he doesn't really care what anybody else seems to thinks, as long as he and his family are happy. And he's, as I say, he's done extremely well. And if you're going to be BBC Sports Personality of the Year, number one, you've got to be the best at what you do, which he is. Number two, you've got to have a personality. He's got more personality than all of them together.
Great stuff. Well, Frank, congratulations once again on 40 years.
Thank you, mate.
And hope for another 40 more. Might be a bit ambitious, but we'll go for another 20 at least.
Love it. Thank you, mate.